Big game coming up here on Sunday, Bears versus Steelers. And we got a special guest here on the Brick by Brick podcast, Ryan Mundy, former Chicago Bear, former Pittsburgh Steeler. He's joining Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah starting right now. Welcome back to the Brick by Brick podcast, presented by our good friends over at Circa Sports, Illinois, and Empire Today. Make sure you're hitting up circasports.com for all your gambling needs. And if you're using Empire Today, make sure you use the code CHGO for $350 off all your flooring needs. I am your host, and alongside me, as always, is Jerry Azumah and Lance Briggs. And joining us here today is special guest, former Chicago Bear first and foremost, but also former Pittsburgh Steeler, played a few more years in Pittsburgh, former safety Ryan Mundy. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm feeling good. How y'all feeling today, man?
Feeling great, baby.
I know you won more games when you were a Steeler than you were as a Bear.
Yeah, that is a fact. A lot more. A whole lot there. But I was there much longer. I was there for 5 years. And we got off to a really hot start because my rookie year we won the Super Bowl. So that's really, really hard to beat. Really hard to beat.
That is.
Let's be nice.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, a long career, right? And you know, you mentioned winning the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess let's just start there then. I mean, you're with your rookie year, right? And Steelers go on to win it, and Antoine Randall, right, throwing a game-winning touchdown, you know, right? Now he's on the Bears, you know, and so you've had some memories with some guys that have made some plays. What was that like for you to kind of reach that pinnacle as soon as you get in the NFL? That doesn't normally happen to most players.
It's true.
No, it doesn't. But actually, that Super Bowl, the one in Detroit, I was still in college during that.
That's
game.
right. That's right.
The Super Bowl that I won was with the. We played against the Cardinals in Tampa 09 Super Bowl.
And that was honestly that was honestly to me, I always put that up there as one of the greatest Super Bowls ever played.
That's amazing.
Like when you talk about a back and forth affair, that was an unbelievable game.
Yep.
Braggs, are you talking about the 08 or are you talking about the 09 one? Which one are you talking about? The 07 or the 09?
It was the 09 Super Bowl, 08 season.
Okay, I was just checking with Bragg to see if he had the years right.
Okay, I make one mistake to start the show, and you ain't gonna let me off the hook. I'm sorry. Okay, I got
this
Randall.
guy.
I was thinking about Randall. I got my Super Bowls confused, but thank you for the correction there, Ryan. I mean, that was an incredible Super Bowl. James Harrison with the interception at the end of the half. I know my Super Bowls, Briggs.
Get him, Lance.
Did you throw a block for James Harrison for that touchdown?
No, I was a spectator the entire game for that game.
Just put me off the screen. I'm done.
I was along the ride that whole year. I mean, we had such a legendary defense. It was hard to get on the field. You know, we had guys like Troy Polamalu, Ryan Clark, Ike Taylor, Brian McFadden.
That one loaded.
I mean, loaded. James Ferrier.
Loaded, yeah.
Brett Kiesel, Casey Hampton. I mean, top dogs across the board. And so it was a crazy game. And we almost lost that game because late in that game, Larry Fitzgerald caught a pass and went right down the middle of our field. And, you know, the collective oxygen on our team at the time just completely went out because we thought it was over. But Ben in the offense took the ball back and literally drove all the way down the field. And that's when Santonio Holmes had that great catch in the corner. But it was a wild game.
Yeah, that's fun, man.
Well, I was just going to let these guys do the rest of the interview since I can't get anything right to start this show.
He's in his feelings right now. He's in his feelings. Play some Drake.
Jerry brought it up. Jerry brought it up before we started the interview, though. But obviously, you played under Mike Tomlin. Bears are going to see Mike Tomlin here on Sunday. You know, what was it like to play under Mike, and what makes him such a great head coach?
Yeah, so I was a part of Mike's second draft class. I got drafted in the 6th round in 2008. And, you know, the word players coach kind of comes to mind, but that could have some negative connotations to it. Like Mike was all about accountability, being real with you. And maybe a better word might be here is like transparency. Like he always kept it $100. So you knew exactly where you stood with him at each and every moment when you were in the building. And for me, just kind of as a young guy in the league, I mentioned all those guys that I played with. It was really a special time because, you know, as a young guy coming into the NFL, you don't know left from right. And, you know, you're coming into a lot of money, et cetera. But I learned really how to be a pro, not only from my teammates, but Mike Tomlin and his leadership and like his style and approach. It fit what I needed at the time. And I think that's why we had a lot of success. And it was funny because some guys like James Ferrier, he played against James Ferrier in college. And so we had like an interesting type of chemistry and relationship that was going on because Mike at the time was younger than I am right now. Mike was like 37 or 38, you know what I mean? So he was a really young guy and looking to make his mark. But it was a special time. We had a great staff. And it was really just a great opportunity for me to start my career and led by Mike Tomlin. Like his approach, again, his demeanor, just like every day showing up and taking care of business. That's what made, I think that time really, really special for us.
I think it's really incredible that you played with so many talented guys as well. Like, what was it like being on a team just full of just talent, you know, and leadership?
Leaders, man, like I said, I just learned how to be a pro. Sometimes you just got to be a fly on the wall and watch how people work and do things. And I remember vividly in my first mini camp right after I got drafted, you know, I'm in a DB room and Tyrone Carter comes over and he's like, don't do what he does. And he is Troy Polamalu. And so like you see the clips of like Troy playing half field and he's lined up in the A gap or like he's doing his own thing, kind of cowboy, etc. But the key was for me, like learning some parts of his game that I could take and apply to my game. Some parts of Ryan Clark's game I could take and apply to my game. And that was a great thing about having so much talent around. Like you could take little pieces of each person's game and implement them into your own personal style. And at the end of the day, that's what made it, I think, it really, really special because our defensive coordinator was Dick LeBeau. And so like he's a Hall of Fame player in and of himself, but also a Hall of Fame coach too. So like I think what really made it special was everybody had their own flavor and their own style. And as long as you were making plays and getting a job done, everybody was cool.
Hey, let's take it over to when you came over to the Bears under the Mark Trestman years.
Yes, bring up some memories. Let's talk about those memories, Mr. Trestman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the things that strikes me that I remember the most is us going good on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you know, like extensively going good on good and going to Mel Tucker and saying, Coach, why aren't we practicing against what we're going to see this week? And him saying, well, this is what Coach wants to do. He thinks we get better reps if we go good on good. So we'll go good on good for inside run period, for a team period, and then after that, then we'll do another team period where it's against who we'd be facing that week. It was really weird setup. You remember that?
I remember now that you brought it up, and I just thought, man, when I came here to Chicago, I remember being really, really excited to come here. But then when I got here, I was like, this is interesting. this is interesting. You know what I mean? Because I played for the Steelers for 5 years. I played for the Giants. I had a year there, and then I'm like, look, you know, I'm gonna sign with the Bears, and these are like legacy, original type of NFL type teams. So I'm like, look, like I'm gonna go to the Bears, and it should feel the same. But when I got here, I was like, But yeah, it was. I look back at my time with the Bears as like the best of times and also, unfortunately, the worst of times, because we were incredibly talented that year, but it just didn't come together, and there was just, I think, a lot of misses, and that, how we practice, I think, really showed up in the games, because you remember that one stretch where we gave up damn near 100 points in 2 games?
Yes.
That was wild.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was horrible to watch.
It was just one thing after the next, and I was like, yo, like, when it rains, it definitely pours. But it wasn't that bad because I stayed in Chicago and I've been here 11 years. But that year in 2014 was tough, man. It was really, really tough. I mean, we had guys. Remember, Jay was about to fight. Who was he about to fight on the sideline?
Everyone.
Yeah, Jay was an angry dude. B. Marshall was about to fight Chris Harris. I mean, there was just so much going on.
It was
like, what are we doing, y'all?
I never seen anything like it.
It was nuts.
I had never experienced anything like that. And all of that, when Levy was there, you never saw stuff like, we had fights and things like that, but I didn't experience what we were experienced during the Trestman years. It was wild. And I was like, I can't believe, I don't recognize.
You got to explain that to the viewers a little bit better. Like, when you say good on good, what exactly do you mean?
So when I say good on good, meaning our first offense against our first defense. So typically when you get into the season, and let's say it's Wednesday's first down, second down. All right. You're going to see first and second down of your opponent. Right. That's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to study. That's all you're going to do. Okay. So during the Trestman years, we'd get reps where it's just us, our defense against our offense, running the Bears offense.
Right.
And I remember going to Mel Tucker, and I'm like, why are we wasting time going against our own offense?
Right.
Like, this
is not what we're going to see.
Right.
We're not going to see that.
You're not looking at the
OTAs and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're not looking at the scout. You're not looking at the scout looks.
So this is where this guy's he's a problem in the locker room stuff happens, because I would tell Mel, I'm like, listen, if we're gonna do this, take me off the field until we're gonna practice against our opponent. Like, I don't want to wait. It's a waste of time to be out here doing this. I've never seen it before.
Hey, Lance, let me ask you, because I never really got to the bottom of this schematically. I'm just generally curious on like the scheme that we were running that year. My understanding was that was a scheme that was carried over from like when y'all was top of the league, number one defense, all that type of stuff. Was it the same or was it not the same, just from an X's and O's standpoint?
From an X's and O's standpoint, this is how that defense was set up. Mel Tucker let the starters do what we were doing before. It was definitely something that we were doing before, but it was all based off of the starting 11. So Henry Melton's, Paya, all the guys that have been in that defense. And what happened was guys started getting hurt. And as they got hurt, everybody that was behind them, remember, they got rid of all our linebackers and brought in all young guys that hadn't been in the system before. So it was a bunch of guys that had never been in the system, and then there was a starting 11 that had been, or there was like 11 or 10 guys, 9 guys that have been in the system. So as soon as those guys started getting hurt, Mel started reverting to something. He started doing a lot of two-gapping with the D linemen. He started two-gapping all the D linemen, and I was like, Mel, what are you doing?
Can't do that.
He's like, well, these young guys, they don't know how to play it like you guys played it. So it got screwed up really bad, really fast.
It felt way off.
That's crazy to me as a fan, just because, like, we don't understand. We're just watching the game.
Right.
And you're right, Ryan. I mean, back-to-back games, I'll never forget it. It was against the Packers and Patriots. Both teams dropped a 50-burger on you guys, and I was ready to lose my mind.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the lowest points as a Bears fan. Like, and also kind of like when you talk about the Lovie Smith era, there was so much hope that year before with Trestman where you guys almost made the playoffs, fell just short in that last game. So there was still a lot of hope in that season, and it all just fell apart right away. A lot of us attributed it to an aging defense. No offense, Lance. But a lot of us attributed it to that.
Lance is old.
But it's the truth.
Lance
like,
just
we're trying to make sense of it, and now you're sitting here telling me, like, you guys, like, I just don't understand how you guys as players who each year you play in the league is so, like, you don't get a lot of years in the league. So, like, Ryan, and all you guys can answer this, how hard is it for you to keep your mouth shut and just do what your specific job is when you kind of feel like a year of your career is being wasted?
Go ahead, Brian. You can start this. I have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, because for me, like I mentioned, I came here with high expectation, high hopes, etc. Especially as you mentioned, like the year before, like there was promise on the offense, and it felt like the momentum was going up. But then when you get here, it's like, oh, it's not really working like that. And at the time, like I'm 30, and so like I'm in year 7 of my career. And I was doing all right, but my focus was still on like, look, I need to get another contract. Like I need to really like kind of get them one more time before I get out this thing. And as we were going through the season, it was like, yo, like this doesn't feel good. And it was hard for me because like statistically, I had really good numbers. Like that season, I had 100+ tackles. I had 4 picks. Like the numbers were great, but like a safety should not have 100 tackles, especially in that type of defense. And so, and a lot of times I felt like I was playing linebacker, coming down in the box. There was so much going on that year, and it felt like at the end of the year, like man, I was just physically exhausted. And I truly believe after that season, just from like the mental standpoint and also like the physical standpoint, my body just was like, yo, bro, it went into a different phase. From the time that I got here until after that season, there was a drastic change, not only physically for me, but also like mentally. And I think that really wore on me. And in the following season, I come back and, they get rid of the whole staff, but I got injured and I had back surgery, et cetera. And that ended my career. And so like, I kind of went out on a sour note. But I look at that year as 2014 as kind of like the beginning of the end.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. No, I agreed. The 2014 2013 to me, I mean, we were a little bit better that year, but I already saw the direction where we were headed. But in 2014, and I don't know if you remember this during some of the practices because I was hurt, part of that year too, or half that year. Yeah. But I was like, man, I am 100% sure that I'm retiring after this year. Like this, going through it with that coaching staff, and I'm not saying all the coaching staffs, like I'm not saying anything about like, I got along with a lot of those guys, and stuff. It was different. Yeah. It was different, but the feeling that I had, and I loved my teammates. I loved all of my teammates. I had a lot of fun with all of my teammates and I enjoyed them. It was a different feeling, Zoom. It was a very different feeling than being under the Levy regime.
Did it feel like Trestman had his hand over the defense more so than Mel Tucker? You know what I'm saying? Like, did Mel Tucker like allow you to be you, or was it more Trestman putting his influence on the defense?
So I think it was more. So when you go into that locker room, all right, one of the first things that Trestman did was he's like, hey. He mixed up all the locker seating. Ugh. So the defense wasn't with the D line wasn't with the D line, and
can we just throw it out there? Trestman was a disaster. Okay, Trestman was a disaster.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yes.
Okay, let's just throw that out there.
Who was your locker next to, Lance?
I mean, he mixed up everything, and a lot of people don't really truly understand that. Like, there's a big difference between Lovey and Trestman. Yeah. So, like, explain that first.
So if Ryan had come into the Bears, let's say Lovey doesn't get fired. Right. So Ryan comes in
came into an incredible system.
He comes in, he's like, whoa, okay, I see exactly where I fit. I know exactly. I have an answer. There's an answer for every one of my questions. I know where everybody is. This is rolling like a machine. You know, I have my rules. I know what my rules are. I know what your rules are. I know what gaps you have, this and that. I know where my drops are, all of that stuff. You know, I know we all have to run to the ball. I know we want to take the ball away.
Yeah.
That's being preached to us, you know. So it's unfortunate, and that was one of the things that I really felt bad for some of these guys and not as much the young guys, but the older guys that came in that I knew could play and that could really help us. I'll use Jeremiah Ratliff as an example. He comes in, and one of the first things that he says to me is he's like, Briggs, don't worry, none of these linemen are going to touch you, you know? And I was like, Rat, that's not the way it works here. You know, if the double team stays on you, I'll make the play. If they come off, you make the play. The start of defense is the defense. You know, and he didn't understand that coming from the Cowboys. And then, you know, as the season went along, he started to get it, you know, and I was like, Rat, you should have been playing in this style of defense all your whole career. You'd have been a killer at 3 technique. You know, you had a lot of fun at it. But you know, it's like I said, it's one of those deals, man. Trestman came in, that staff, they really made a mess of something that wasn't a mess. Like, tried to fix something that wasn't broken.
Or just try to overanalyze as well. It seemed that, like, on, like, really nice days, for example, like OTAs, there's 85 degrees and sunny outside, a slight breeze. He would basically say, you know what, let's take it into the bubble, you know, because the air in the bubble is, like, a little bit better. Like, is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy.
So much analysis and too much, I don't know if it was called micromanaging.
Yeah, micromanaging.
Overanalyzing.
Yeah, it felt like a lot of micromanaging, but it also felt like nobody had the answer. Like, you would kind of just be walking around and kind of feeling lost. And if you did something, it was wrong, but nobody would tell you the right thing to do. I'm like, okay, what should I be doing here? You know what I mean? Like, there were all these rules and things like, do this, do this, do this. But it didn't fit. You know, I'm like, let's get on the same page. It never really felt like we were on the same page at all.
Yeah.
So that's just like, for me, I find this so like enlightening, just because as a fan, again, we sit in the stands, we're even able to go to training camp, we see how things operate, but we don't understand these kind of answers. We can tell you it doesn't look right, but can't explain why. And then as fans or analysts, we start assigning blame when a lot of the times there's things like this going on that are the underbelly, and if we were provided that context, honestly would help us. Obviously, you guys aren't going to spill the tea in the moment like that. So it's like, I think it just kind of when you fast forward to what's going on right now, when you go to a training camp and it's as organized as it was this year for Ben Johnson, you can like feel it as a spectator. You can feel the difference between a disorganized, lack of leadership team versus a team that's playing together and pulling from the same rope and talking about that training camp. This is my final question, and maybe we can fast forward to what's going on for the current Bears and Steelers. But I guess my final question, just talking about this, when you guys talk about the fighting going on, and everybody remembers Jay and Marshall and Robbie, and everybody was kind of having their moments in the season. The one that stands out the most to me was when Martellus Bennett and Kyle Fuller got into it at camp. I was at that practice. I stood about 10 feet away from when that happened. Now, there were some layers to how that all went down, because Martellus threw him down, and that was shady. But then Brandon, like, flipped out after that. People don't remember he got thrown out of practice, too, for completely flipping out, which I thought was, like, odd because he wasn't even in the middle of it. And then Martellus gets suspended for, like, 3 practices for this. So I want to know your guys' memory from this. It was chaos to me.
Great question.
But I also was like, why are we suspending Martellus for 3 days over like, it didn't feel like it was that. It felt like it became a bigger deal because of how it was handled versus what had actually happened. I'm just, however far you want to go with telling how that all went down, but just as somebody standing on the sidelines, I'm like, what is going on here? That was the first red flag of that season.
Yeah, that was definitely a red flag, and it felt like a knee-jerk reaction. And in hindsight, the word that's coming to mind, it didn't feel like there was a steady hand leading the ship, right? And you could point to moments like that, and that's really important because like that sets the tempo, and everybody's following that tempo. But if guys and the team feels like, everything is all willy-nilly, then things will be willy-nilly, and you will have incidents like that. Martellus was one of my best friends on the team, and so like we talked about this quite a bit. And Marty was like, "Yo, like he was trying to take." I'm like, "Bro, like he was not trying to take your neck off, bro." Like, and for whatever reason, Martellus felt like he had something to prove that day. But I was like, "Bro, it wasn't that serious for you to react like that."
And to be honest, his issue was more with Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, he had a huge issue with Brandon. They were about to fight.
Right. Yeah, that was where the kind of the friction was.
Yep.
But you got to remember too that when Trestman got there, he really wanted Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall to be the leaders of this team, and he had a guy, Josh McCown. And Josh McCown was there. You guys remember Josh McCown, we just saw him last week coaching J.J. McCarthy. All right, Josh McCown is one of my favorite teammates. Especially on the offensive side, because he was the translator. And he would go to Trestman. He's like, "Listen, you already have established leaders here. You have established leaders in Peanut and Lance." He's like, "And you keep cutting them. You know what I mean? Like you keep undermining them as leaders, so that you can get these other guys to be leaders." And it was, and this is another part of what the outside, you guys you're never going to know this stuff unless you're in one of our circles. You're not going to know this stuff right here. So it was different.
No, and that made it hard too, because like when I came in, I was looking towards y'all, but I felt like y'all were like, "Can I cuss on this show?"
You can do whatever you want.
Like, y'all was like, "Man, fuck Trestman, fuck Phil Emery, fuck Trestman." Like, I'm like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on here?" You know what I mean? I'm like, Lance Briggs, all pro, Peanut Tillman, all pro. Like, these guys, like, man, fuck these dudes. You know what I mean? Y'all was hot. And I'm like, damn, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, legendary type players, like, man, fuck the head coach.
That's
and
crazy.
You didn't have to say it quickly, but like that was just the sense that was. And then people would take direction from that.
Wasn't that Trestman's thing? Trestman's thing was like everybody is basically equal to a certain degree, right? Like veteran versus rookie, like you're all equal.
Yes, that was exactly what he said. No matter, he's like, "You're all equal." And I remember Peanut standing up right then. He was like, "We're not all equal, coach.
We're not all equal.
Like,
We're not all equal.
We had to bust our ass to make this team and to get to where become starters, and we worked our asses off to get that. Some of these guys aren't even going to make it out of training camp. And
Mike Tomlin used to say, like, you will be not equal. You know what I mean? We're not equal. Everybody's not equal, but you will be treated fairly.
Yeah.
According to how you show up on this roster, you will be treated fairly.
Right.
That's just honestly, I appreciate hearing all of this, just because, like I said, it makes you appreciate good culture for a team when you have it as a fan, because all we want is for. I mean, I know you guys and how important this is for your careers and your livelihood, but for us as fans, we just want to see winning teams and having fun. And so just fast forwarding to this season and everything Ben Johnson is doing, you said, you're still in the city, you still live, in the Chicago area, and, seeing what the Bears are doing and Ben Johnson coming in and, like it's one thing to have this great offensive mind and play calling, like Trestman understood offense, but the leadership that Ben Johnson has brought to the Chicago Bears and the attention to detail and just the way this is all going down right now in Chicago, from your standpoint, watching this all kind of take place, what are your thoughts on everything kind of building here in Chicago now?
I mean, it's exciting, and I think it's been long overdue. But it feels like finally things are headed in the right direction. And again, it starts with the guy who's leading the ship each and every day, a steady hand, and his confidence, and also like I think intensity is really important. He comes off as like an intense type of dude, and you got like y'all know we're in the NFL. This is not playtime. You know what I'm saying? This is like a grown man's game, and you need grown men. You need a grown man leading grown men. Like, there's a time and a place for certain types of conversations and certain types of approaches, but the consistency of a steady hand, intensity, and like setting the tempo day in and day out is important. And I think that's what we're seeing now with the Bears. And it's exciting to see, like 7-3 And I was wearing my sweatshirt, a Bears sweatshirt the other day, and they were like, "Oh, you believe?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, at this point, you kind of got to start to believe, right? Especially when the numbers are suggesting like these guys are actually performing well on defense, on offense, etc." But it feels like still collectively in the community, like people are still waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, oh, the Bears will be the Bears. But each and every week, you know, they have no control over who they play. The back half of the schedule is going to be tough, but like you just got to win the games that you play and take them one game at a time. And so we'll see how the rest of this thing unfolds. But I think so far so good in the sense of like, look, it feels like things are in the right direction. Yes, there's opportunity for improvement, but I think 7-3 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, definitely not. Just real quick, I got to take a quick time out to thank our sponsors here on the show. But, I wanted to ask you a few more things about the upcoming game here, or let these guys get in here and ask a couple more things about the upcoming game between the Steelers and the Chicago Bears. Obviously, it's going to be a big-time matchup. So just stick around real quick, 2 minutes, and got to give a shout-out here to our good sponsors. Make sure you hit the like button while you're hanging out. Subscribe to the channel. As always, we appreciate everybody tuning in as we get ready for Thursday night football. 2 minutes away, and we're going to get some more thoughts from Ryan Mundy. But first, want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season, whether it's spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa Sports has it for you. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Hopefully you didn't bet on the Fighting Illini last night playing Bama. Bama took them down, but Arizona beat UConn, so maybe you made some money off Briggs' Wildcats there. I hope you did. In Week 12 coming up for the NFL season, we're going to help you make some money later in this program. So download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, but always make sure you're using Circa Sports. And also, as we are shouting out our presenting sponsors, Empire Today is always there for us because just like your team needs a home field advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get that. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day of the week. Look, we've all been to those big box stores, and yes, they have a flooring department, but the person helping you with flooring may have been doing sinks the day before, and as we always say, you can't trust plumbers. You can only trust bricklayers and, of course, the good people over at Empire Today because they give you clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard that right, a $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. All right, we're back here on the Brick by Brick podcast with Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah, joined by former Pittsburgh Steeler and Chicago Bears safety Ryan Mundy. All right, let's get into it. I know I've been doing plenty of talking. You guys take it away. We got a big game coming up here on Sunday between the Bears and the Steelers. This is going to be a big one, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really good matchup. I mean, the Steelers are, 6-4. The Bears obviously 7-3. And they're going into the second half of the season, so it's November. It's all about winning football. Like the really good teams start to really rise, and Tomlin just seems to just figure things out. Like I don't know how he does it, but he always gets his group of guys to always get on the same page and win football games.
Yep.
And Ryan, you've been a part of that. Like, can you just express to the people like what it's like, being under a guy that has that much intensity and a guy that just expects winning, and then you guys delivering that?
Yes, it's embedded into the culture. I make the analogy I draw the example of the Steelers have only had 3 head coaches in maybe like the last, it's got to be pushing 70 years now, or close to it, somewhere in between 60 and 70. And the Bears at one point in time had 3 head coaches in like 5 years, right? And so like you could look no further than that. But again, as I've been saying this whole time, it starts with that steady hand at the top, and having that consistency and that intensity and leadership really, really matters. I do think it's interesting this year, though. The Steelers aren't consistent. They have these up and down games, and it hasn't felt the same because that era of Steeler football that I was a part of, it was different. But now, it just doesn't seem to be coming together the way that it used to. And that could be for a variety of reasons, maybe coaching staff, maybe schematically, personnel, so on and so forth. But somehow, some way, Mike Tomlin always finds a way to get into the playoffs. But for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to get over that hump in about a decade. You know what I mean? And so like something isn't clicking there. And, you can point to a few different things, but hopefully this year, they'll find a rhythm because the expectation was super high coming into this season. You got Aaron Rodgers, you brought in DK Metcalf. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I didn't love that trade. I thought it was okay, but I was like, DK doesn't wow me. But nonetheless, I think Jalen Ramsey has been a great addition. TJ Watt. So it felt like this year they were being aggressive in trying to make a really big push. But for whatever reason, those guys don't seem like they're always on the same page, gelling, communication, or just have like a rhythm on the field to understand like who's doing what and when there's, when their responsibility is rising to make a play. But all in all, I think now's the time to really show up, right? Like we're headed into December football. They got big games left. And so we'll see. But so far, the inconsistency of the team has really been sticking out to me, and just the overall lack of production at some key positions, I think is still really hurting them.
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
go
Ryan,
ahead, Briggs, sorry.
If somebody spits in your face at the end of the game while you're talking to him right in his face, you gonna let that go?
Hell no.
Come on. What kind of question is that?
It's gonna be the game. You're gonna have you're gonna have 10 other dudes up in your grill real quick. And which is interesting because you could tell the sign of a good team, like when stuff like that happens, like the whole crew is coming. You know what I mean? And back to that example where we talked about Martellus and Kyle Fuller, the whole crew did not go over from a defensive perspective. And that was something that we had talked about in our own DB room with Coach Hoke and Chris Harris. They was pointing out guys with the little pointer, like, look, you're standing there, you're standing there, you're standing there. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, no, we in trouble. Like, we ain't even sticking up for our brothers in practice. Like, man.
Hold on a minute. Zoom, just so let me clarify something, everybody. I was hurt. I was in a sling.
You better clarify that.
Oh, no, I'm talking about DBs. Okay? I'm talking about the DB room. It was like, look, bro, like, hey, if one person's in the fight, we all in the fight.
Yeah.
Well,
you got crutches. Crutch on over there.
I was pissed that I was pissed when they showed the Zapruder film for the spit because I thought maybe Jalen Ramsey would get suspended for throwing the punch. Then I saw he got spit on. I was like, no, they're gonna let that slide. You're allowed to throw as many punches as you want when somebody's spitting on you. So
that was ridiculous, actually.
Wow.
That was him.
I love
400K.
There's no response. Do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Yep. Like that is just. But then the crazy part was he lied about it. I'm like, bro,
he lied about it. Lied about it.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? But that's par for the course for the Bengals.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, surely it's a tough history between the Bengals and Steelers. So when you talk about, Ryan, that like how the Steelers haven't really been able to get over the hump, even though they're a winning team every single year under Mike Tomlin, a lot of that I think is attributed to the quarterback, right? You guys win a Super Bowl with Ben Roethlisberger, but then trying to figure out who your quarterback's been since then, they bring in Aaron Rodgers to try to go for this push in a tough AFC conference. Mm-hmm. We all understand the history of Aaron Rodgers versus the Chicago Bears. It's not fun, and we're all scarred by it, And so now he comes in with a broken bone on his wrist, and whether he's going to play or not,
he's going to play.
So your thoughts on whether he'll play, and if he does, what you've seen from him this year from a quarterback standpoint.
I think he's been doing his job. He's been meeting the expectation, particularly in the early parts of the season. And when I was talking about the inconsistency, it's been showing up on defense, which is, I think, the disheartening part of it, because even back in our heyday when Ben was a quarterback, we were winning games on defense, point blank period. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers organization is built on defense. And so to feel like to see these games this year where like you have good enough quarterback play, but the defense is not closing the deal out, that's been tough. But bringing it to this week, it's like, look, Aaron, he had one play. I remember when we played him here, that home game during the 2014 season, he was going to the ground and threw like a 45-yard bomb for a touchdown. It got called back, but I was like, oh, this motherfucker is real. Because I hadn't really played against him. We played against him in the Super Bowl like 3 years prior in Dallas, and he tore our ass up. But man, like Aaron Rodgers this week, I think he's highly motivated to come back and play because they lost that game. They lost the game to Green Bay. And then he was probably, in the headlines, he was talking about like, oh, this is not a revenge game. He's not that type of dude. He's holding grudges and he's trying to kick your ass each and every play. So I expect him to play this week. But the Bears have been balling on defense. I mean, they got 15 interceptions leading the league. So hopefully they're up for the task.
Yeah, Briggs, Rodgers spoke to the media yesterday with Pittsburgh, and in the clip, he's like, oh, I love the city of Chicago. I love WGN and the Bulls and the Cubs. And, we had a history, and it was a great rivalry, but I hope Bears fans can let bygones be bygones. Are you letting bygones be bygones with Rodgers? He's trying to call it with the rivalry.
Listen, he's trying to get a rise out of somebody. All right, he's trying to get a rise out of a lot of Chicagoans. All right, and I know he gets to you, Braggs. I know that gets a rise out of you real quick. Okay,
yeah,
listen,
it does.
We have, if you have a job to do, you stay poised in the noise, right? You stay poised in the noise. You go out and you do what you have to do. What we do know about Rodgers is he's frail. All right, and he's going to be extra frail. He comes into that game, so. One thing we're lacking right now is pass rush, but if we can get to Rodgers, get QB hits, get some sacks, then we can get ourselves in position to actually make some plays.
I think that's the most important thing with what you just said. It's the motivation has to be on the defensive line to win their one-on-one matchups to get to Rodgers' face, because Rodgers obviously is a really good quarterback, and if he's in the pocket and you're not getting after him, then he's going to pick you apart. Right. I don't care who he has. He's that type of quarterback, but it starts with the defensive line, and the defensive line this year hasn't been productive like we have, like we wanted them to be. So hopefully this game they can get things going. I mean, obviously they have some weapons over there, but they have to figure out ways to win their one-on-one matchups and get to Rodgers' face immediately and make it really not satisfying in that pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Steelers don't have like the best of offensive lines right now, so hopefully the Bears can come in and take advantage of that. And again, on the playmaker side of things, they don't have anybody that scares you. Like they got Jaylen Warren at running back, solid guy. DK Metcalf is having a meh year.
Got a big tight end.
And then they don't even really have a number 2 wide receiver. Tight ends are okay. So like at the end of the day, I feel like the Bears should be very aggressive in going into this game to really like set the tempo on defense and make it a long day for whoever's playing that quarterback. I will say they need to look out for Mason Rudolph though, because I think he showed something last week that gave a spark to the offense. Like it had a different feel, it had a different energy. So I would be mindful about that. But again, and you guys know this, like when you look at the scouting report and you're like, oh, like who am I going against this week? You either got guys that you got a game plan against and, like dedicate a lot of time and energy to focus on, or, you could be like, look, we about to eat this week. And I think the Bears defense mentality should be like, man, we have an opportunity to eat at home this week. Big time.
And when you flip the script also, when you look at the Bears offense and Caleb Williams, look, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense hasn't been really that great either. They've been giving up a lot of yards, and a lot of touchdowns too. So Williams can come out there with all the weapons that he has, especially with the big 2 tight ends, and really do some damage in the middle of the football field this coming game. So I like the matchup for the Chicago Bears. I think that we match up very well to them, and I think that we can exploit them in certain areas. And I think that Williams can really get off and really have a very productive game. And also, I think the running game could be extremely productive too.
Yeah. So, Ryan, you mentioned Mason Rudolph, who finished the last game pretty strong. So I guess I'll ask you this, by you saying that, if you were lining up, who would you rather play this week, Rodgers or Mason Rudolph, if you were trying to win this game?
It's a great question. I probably want to play against injured Aaron Rodgers and an older Aaron Rodgers. Now, we're not talking about the Aaron Rodgers of 10 years ago. You know what I mean? That's a different conversation. We're talking about 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who's already, this is like week 12 of the season, so like he's got some wear and tear. He's coming off energy. So I would want to test that, and see and be excited about that opportunity more so than Mason Rudolph.
Wow.
I have another question for you. If Michigan is playing West Virginia,
here we go.
Who are you pulling for?
Well, I was just at the Michigan game this past week at Wrigley Field, and that was way too close for comfort. But if they were playing against each other, just like in this game, man, I can't lose, brother. And so I'm rolling with the winner. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to the game this Sunday. I'm going to the Steelers hotel on Saturday, see the guys, say what up, man. It's all family at the end of the day. But yeah, I can't lose. But who do I think is going to win? I think Michigan would win for sure. Just resources, etc. But yeah, that's a different. Yeah,
I got a question for you. Obviously you're a safety, and the Chicago Bears have some really good safeties as well. Like, talk about some of their play.
I think it's been great, especially seeing KB out there doing his thing as a 30-plus-year-old safety. That I tip my hat to that brother, because I know what that feels like and how valuable that can be to a team to really kind of like turn things around. And also too, Wright has been playing some good ball, and I think overall there's still been some injuries across the board, but they've responded well in the moment. They've been making the plays that they need to make. And keeping the team in position to win. And so overall, I think it's been a great year for them. I know they're coached really well. And so they just got to keep balling, man. Like, you just don't, they have the top three. Well, Edmonds is there, but like 2 DBs in the top 3 leading the league in picks. That's saying something about coaching. That's saying something about like your culture. And so that's really good to see from a DB perspective.
Well, who do you got winning here on Sunday?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Bears. I'm going with the Bears.
Okay.
The Steelers have not won a game at Soldier. They've won one game at Soldier Field in like the last 50 years. I think I saw that stat or something like that. And even when we played here in 2009, it was a tight game, but we still ended up losing. So, yeah, I'm going with the Bears. I think they got the home field advantage. I think they're healthier. There's more momentum with the Bears, and I think more consistency, but that's why you play the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, you can come back to Brick by Brick anytime with an answer like that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be a stranger.
Hey man, I live in Chicago,
allowed.
so you know what I mean. Like I'm Ryan Mundy, Chicago Bear in Chicago.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right.
Even though 2014 was an absolute horrendous year, it took me some time to recover from that. Right.
We appreciate the insight and some of the stories and perspective there. You're welcome anytime to stop by the studio. We're right down the street from the United Center, and anytime you want to stop by the tailgate, you'd actually be there before I get it. I'm trying to get these guys to come to the tailgate, so maybe we'll get you to jump in. Yeah, you're gonna come one day to the tailgate.
It's now November.
It's November.
our old bones don't work like they used to.
Yeah.
But we appreciate your time, Ryan. Definitely jump on anytime. We'd love to continue to kick it around, man. But enjoy the game on Sunday. Enjoy Soldier Field, and hopefully the Bears can get a win.
Appreciate you, Mundy.
Sure, man. Thanks for having me. Good to see y'all, brothers, man. Bear
Thanks,
down.
Mundy. Appreciate you.
Bear down. That is Ryan Mundy, former Chicago Bear,
My guy.
but also, I guess, former Pittsburgh Steeler. Won a Super Bowl with them. The correct Super Bowl, the 2009.
He's just a
Super
former
Bowl.
Bear, period.
Yeah, former Bear. We appreciate it, Ryan.
Can't just read off the first tips you get on your computer.
Just relax. I didn't read anything.
Get him.
I got my Super Bowls confused, Briggs.
You tried to jinx
I don't
Zona
want
the
to hear
other day.
nothing. We're going to take a quick timeout.
Right.
Give it. I don't want to hear nothing. We're going to take a timeout and give a shout out to the sponsors, and we appreciate everybody joining in. So hit that like button. But first, I want to give a shout out to our guys over at Senorita Margaritas. THC drinks going to be coming to the tailgate on Sunday here. So make sure you come to the corner of Wabash and Cermak. You see the QR code here on your screen. Senorita is the full-flavor THC margarita that's rewriting the rules of happy hour. Crafted by wine industry experts, Senorita blends real fruit juice, organic Mexican agave, and a hint of pink salt for award-winning taste. This stuff is as good as it gets. You can do the 5 milligram or the 10 milligram of fast-acting THC. Every can delivers a smooth social buzz without the hangover. It's perfect for tailgates, game day on the couch, or anytime you're craving something delicious. So if you want to try it now, use that QR code on your screen. It's 20% off your first order with code CHGO. Again, scan the QR code, but you can also buy at any retailer like Benny's or order with DoorDash. Must be 21 or older. Please enjoy responsibly. And also, speaking of new sponsors of the show, got to give a shout out to our good friends over at Brunt Workwear. They're sending my boots in here soon. I'm excited for it now that we're here into the winter season. We've already gotten a huge snow hit in my neck of the woods, so need my Brunt boots. We got some behind us. They are as good as it gets. They're super comfortable, and they're the best-selling Marin work boots. Are not only built for the toughest job sites, they're completely waterproof, and that's important. Whether it's rain, mud, standing water, snow, your feet stay dry. So with temps dropping and the holiday season coming up, it's time to treat yourself and the hardworking people in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get your friend or yourself something that's built to last. Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code CHGO at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com and use code CHGO. Order today and let them know you heard it from CHGO and the Brick by Brick podcast. Got to have your boots for the Brick by Brick podcast. Hit the like button for Jerry Azumah and Lance Briggs. Shout out to Ryan Mundy for all his time here on the program here today as we're getting ready for Thursday Night Football. Let's get into the blueprint as we're going a little longer here with the fun interview with Ryan, but we got to get to the blueprint on how we're going to beat the Steelers. Ryan gave us some tips that might help us. Last week we were going at each other with our keys to the game. We'll see if there's any discrepancies with Briggs's keys this week. They didn't get the 3+ take. Don't start
the 14+ takeaways.
They didn't get 3+. They almost got 3+ takeaways. Look at
they just need to take the ball away 18 times.
They came close, Briggsy. All right, your two keys. Your two keys to how we're beating the Steelers.
Well, thanks, guys. Because listen, I have a high standard, and standard's the standard, okay? But my first key is to run the ball, set up play action. The Steelers do a decent job of stopping the run. They give up about 100 yards a game, so that means they're teetering right here or there. But if we're able to run the ball, we still protects Caleb, and it allows us to set up some grit play action passes. And whether we get drops from our receivers or our wideouts, what we can do is we can always depend on our tight ends because we have a top 10 pick at tight end. Everybody loves Land.
We've been talking about this throughout the week. And my buddy Shane Marceau, who does shows on Monday nights with me, he brought this up. Like, Caleb was, somebody that a lot of people said didn't play under center a lot, coming out of college, didn't play under center a lot last year. Ben Johnson is the type of coach that wants to get under center, run the football, do that play action like you said. Mm-hmm. And the stat Shane shared with me was that Caleb Williams is 4th in the league in passing yards under center.
I love
here for the season. So to your point, Lance, a great key. They've got to continue to stick to that script.
Just that.
There's a stat for
18
everything.
Takeaways.
There's a stat for everything.
But that's a good
Caleb sleep on his left side.
But that's a good stat, man. They're under center
it's a great
a lot,
stat.
and he's 4th in the league in yards.
It's a great stat.
It is a good stat. But I just always notice there's a stat for everything. in the world. Like,
but that's a good stat.
We have jumped the shark when it comes to stats and metrics and graphs. But, here I am. We made fun of your keys last week. I'm trying to help your key by providing some stats to your amazing key, and you still won't let me. See, I think you don't trust. You don't trust me. That's what it is. You think.
Thank you, Braggs. Thank you. I appreciate you. All
right, key number 2. All
right, key number 2. Protect Caleb. All right. This pass defense, listen, if they're not sacking you, they're giving up a lot of passing yards. So if we can protect Caleb, that will allow him to pick apart this secondary. All right. Those are my keys.
I like that.
TJ Watt, he's going to be coming off the edge with bad intentions. So we have to make sure that we have a hat on him at all times because he's the type of guy that can just wreck the game with just one play.
Yep.
And we don't want that to happen here at Soldier Field.
Yep.
They have 33 sacks right now. Their defense
they have a lot.
Sacks, but they give up the more passing yards than any other team in the NFL.
That's right.
It is going to be kind of this war of attrition between the Bears and Steelers. Strength. You talk about good versus good earlier, Briggs. The strength versus strength. The Steelers get to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like he's just said, what'd you say, 33 sacks?
33 sacks.
They turn the football over, but the Bears, conversely on offense, they don't turn the ball over that much. Mm-hmm. Caleb hasn't put the ball in harm's way, knock on wood. And he also hasn't taken many sacks this year.
Right.
He took 2 last week, which is like more, like for us, that's a high number
like
for him.
now.
Like before, that would have been his season low last year.
Well, I saw this stat on Fantasy Life. Caleb has avoided 18 sacks this season. That leads the NFL.
That's great.
Yeah. If the Giants were any indication, because they had the number 3 ranked defensive line in the NFL, the Bears did a good job against them, handling them and protecting Caleb against them. They can do it against them. They can do it against the Steelers.
Exactly.
Okay. Those were 2 outstanding keys.
Very, very good keys.
Very good, Lance.
Very, very good keys, Lance.
Jerry,
I'm impressed by those keys. Very impressed.
You know what? Let's just get to yours so I can be unimpressed.
All right, Jerry, your keys.
Take advantage of the Steelers' defense. Like you just said, Lance, the secondary isn't really that great. They gave up a ton of yards, which means, as you said, we have the top 10 pick in terms of tight end. He's getting more and more targets. So they're listening to us. They understand what they need to do offensively. They need to start getting him involved. And I love the tight end play that we have going on right now. Their targets are going up with Cole Kmet and Love, showing a lot of love, and it has to keep on going. So I feel like the middle of the football field will be open, and it's an easy throw for Caleb right down the middle of the football field. And when Love gets that ball, something happens. You know what I'm saying? Like he is very productive, once he has that football down the football field. So they just have to protect Caleb, give him enough time in the pocket. And when he gets scrambling too, he's still really good, like you said, Lance. So he likes to go out there and just make plays, but I feel like they're susceptible to making a lot of plays with this defense because they give up a lot of yards. So if they can protect Caleb, I think Caleb can have a really fine day in the air.
That's interesting. You guys, as we're going through this and talking to Mundy and hearing your guys' thoughts on this, you guys are making me – I'm like super nerd. Now that there's so much on the line for the Bears to make the playoffs, like my nerves – for the week leading up, I'm excited.
I understand.
I'm so nervous.
I understand.
I
these
just want
Steelers.
them to make. I just want them to make the playoffs.
But the Steelers are a really good football team. They figure out ways to adapt and stay close in football games. There's a reason why they're 6-4, and they are well coached as well. And they make really good adjustments, especially at halftime. So it's going to be a tough game. Like we're making it sound like it's easy, but it is definitely not going to be easy. Like the Steelers are going to come into this game and they're going to say, you know what, we can win this game. We can beat this team and we can get after them. If they do that stuff early, then we have a totally different dynamic with this game.
Yeah. And it's not funny, Briggs. I am nervous, man. But going into the season, I wasn't going to do the playoff talk. I wasn't going to set the expectation that they had to make the playoffs because I just wanted to be reasonable about the first year with Ben. Now we're at this point where it is like they have to make the playoffs now or I'm going to be upset.
You need a CBD drink. You need one of those CBD drinks.
Meatball, you know doggone well if the Bears would have started this season 2-0, You would have said Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but they didn't. They started 0-2, so then I was like, all right, let's just develop this team and figure out what we're doing next year. And then somehow they won 7 of 8. All right? This isn't easy, man. Okay? All right, your second key, Zoom.
Pressure the quarterback. So whoever it is, I hope it's Rodgers. I want to face the best, and I want to get after him. And also, this defensive line has something to prove. Like, we've been talking about the defensive line since the beginning of the season that we need more of a pass rush. We need to see them when they're one-on-ones. Well, we have a great opportunity to do that at Soldier Field, in nasty type of weather against one of the best to ever do it. So if that's not enough motivation for you, then I don't know what is. But the stars are aligned right now for them to go after and get after that quarterback. And I expect a lot of pressure. I expect pressure coming from zone blitzes and just one-on-one matchups and schemes up front. If we can be disruptive up front and make it really difficult for the quarterbacks to be successful, then this should be a runaway victory for the Chicago Bears.
Oh, man. You guys make me so nervous. Like, between...
CBD drink.
I got to get one of those senorita.
Yes. Send them. Send a case.
Senorita margarita.
10 milligrams.
One senorita.
Between Briggs, he did this on the post game. He keeps calling Rodgers frail, and I'm not clipping him saying that because I don't want this getting back to Rodgers. The Bears have been doing a good job.
I do. I want Rodgers to be at his best.
Yeah,
so we can take advantage because I really believe in this football team. I really do. I feel like the momentum is moving in a good direction for the Chicago Bears, and they're figuring out ways to win.
Yeah.
That's like I said last time. Last year, they find ways to lose. This time, they're finding ways to win, to keep it close and win in the end. And they've been making those plays to do that, to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned, pressuring the quarterback. The Steelers have allowed the lowest pressure rate in the NFL, but when Rodgers is pressured, he has one of the highest sack rates in the NFL.
That's right. You can get to him.
So if you do get to him, you cocould finish the play, but it's just a matter of whether or not you get there.
Right.
And the Bears had no sacks last week against the Minnesota Vikings, so hopefully they have a little bit of a bounce back in that regard, and hopefully they looked at the tape and come with a sense of urgency in that regard. Wanted to remind everybody to become a diehard here at CHGO Sports as we've reached the top of the hour here on the Brick by Brick podcast. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and go to allchgo.com/diehard to sign up. Use the code JOHNS, JAHNS, for $36 for a whole year to be a diehard. We appreciate every single one of you. You had another stat for us, Steven?
2.63 seconds. That's the average time to throw for Aaron Rodgers this year. Surprisingly, that's the 5th highest in the NFL. And he's not manufacturing it like Caleb Williams can, where he could avoid a sack and Houdini his way out of the pocket. This is him standing in there. So that offensive line has been doing a great job for those Steelers. Getting past it's going to be huge.
So that's interesting with that stat being provided for my key, my first key. And maybe this kind of contradicts what you just said a little bit, Steven, but because of Rodgers' injury and him, I'm assuming, trying to play because of his affinity for the Chicago Bears and their fans, you got to be ready for the quick game. I mean, Aaron Rodgers throughout his career, that stat kind of surprised me because I've always kind of known Rodgers to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Right. But I feel like he's going to have an even more of a point of emphasis to get that ball out fast this week. And so maybe that plays into the Bears' hands defensively. You don't have as many long developing plays downfield. But I just assume that they're going to be trying to check that ball down, get it out quick. Briggs, you used to talk about how he would go to his second read, that first read on the left, then he'd come to the slant, first read on the right, come to that slant on the left. Linebackers got to be ready to, bring that ball in and jump that route. But Rodgers is quick with his decisions. Rodgers got a quick trigger with his throwing motion, and Bears got to be ready for this. So, unfortunately, while I do think we do need to get to the quarterback and test Rodgers' injury, I don't know how many opportunities Rodgers is going to give them, knowing he has a broken bone in his wrist. I don't think he's going to be hanging out in that pocket too long. I think he's going to get the ball out fast.
And it's the perfect opportunity for the DBs to get up on these wide receivers and jam the hell out of them at the line of scrimmage. Like, the game plan should be to take away these wide receivers immediately and give Rodgers no chance, because you're exactly right. He does want to get the ball out. That 3-step, like, get the ball out quick and let his guys do their thing. But if the DBs can mug these wide receivers and make it difficult, changes the dynamic of the football game.
Yeah, and
I
they're
like the
tight end.
matchup of DK Metcalf and Nashawn Wright. Nashawn matches really well with tall receivers, being a tall defensive back. So I'd like to see, for DK, he's a guy that you like to throw 50-50 balls to. That to me is a true 50-50 matchup. When you throw that ball up for DK to go get it, I think Nashawn can go get it too.
And did I hear something right that Jalen might be coming back? Possibly.
I'm predicting he's going to play on Sunday. I think most people think it's going to be the Eagles game.
But if he gets there, I mean, he adds a new dynamic also.
Yep.
A strong dynamic to the Bears defense too. So
yeah, and then I think the other matchup concern they have is Darnell Washington, the tight end.
It's a big boy.
That dude is a tank.
Did you see how much he said he weighs? I think this was yesterday he said it. He's listed at 260. Yeah, 311 is what he says he's actually at.
He is a very athletic tight end, but at the same time, he's been trucking DBs.
Well,
like, that's what you're supposed to do when you're 311 pounds.
If you haven't seen it,
that's not really exciting me.
If you haven't seen it, I recommend everybody watch his combine tape where he was going up against the sled. Hilarious. You see all the other tight ends, they move it a little bit, and then he comes up, and it's like, whoa, he's like picking that thing up and throwing it.
What needs to happen is we need to have a safety come down and clean him up.
I don't.
That's what we need. That's what needs to happen.
How about
hey, look, it's the NFL. It's the NFL. It can be done.
Or you could put a linebacker in there and slam him.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Just get after him.
Yeah. Put tomato.
I don't care who gets him. Somebody get him.
it's terrifying.
Somebody get him.
It's terrifying. That dude is huge. He runs people over, no doubt about it. And then my final one, my final key is I have sales guy Jim texting me right now. He threw me off. Sorry, sales guy Jim. I'm working right now. Is take swift action. I'm always the Manung guy.
Very clever.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
I have seen
switching it up. He's switching up.
As much as I love Kyle Manungai, and I do, I got to give DeAndre Swift a ton of credit, man.
Yeah.
He is doing incredible things out there. I mean, last week he had another great game.
Yes.
And he's run, as much as I appreciate how hard Kyle Manungai runs, and he runs hard. He had a touchdown last week. He's bowling over Josh Metellus. But DeAndre Swift has been steady.
Love it.
A steady rock for this team. And it's past time that I give him his credit and quit trying to take his snaps from him.
Good job.
Yeah,
man.
and this
Good
is
job. I'm proud of you.
It's big of me.
Proud of
it's
you.
Big of me to admit this.
Very proud of you.
Because I'm very rarely wrong. But as much as I'm like except when we introduce Ryan Mundy to the show and try to figure out what games he played in there. That was bad. But regardless,
67 Super Bowl. How did you feel when you were there?
He said it with a lot of conviction too.
Shut up, all right? Enough. It's been a long day. Morning, night, everything, okay? Jesus. Oh, man. But it's true. And so it's DeAndre Swift, man. Like you said, running game regardless. Got to keep your identity since, the bye has been to run the ball. Mm-hmm. You're second in the league in rushing now.
Let's go.
And when you say that after the first 4 games, you wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah.
And now you look at this team and their identity of physicality and running the football starts with DeAndre Swift. Manungai is a big part of that, but it starts with DeAndre Swift. Feed him the rock here this Sunday, and good things are going to happen in the run game. And then, as Lance said in his first key, in the play action game.
Yeah.
Mark Carman, who's famously known for great stats as well, he brought this up. He said after the bye, the Bears as an offense net yards are 404 yards a game, which is
fantastic.
Since the bye number 1 in the NFL.
Yeah.
So this offense is.
What did the defense average, Carm?
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to ask Carm, but we're not gonna.
That's for a different show.
It's probably not as good. It's probably not as good, but they are moving the football on offense.
You're definitely onto it because I went back and I looked at the tape as well, and I looked at all the running plays, and the Bears do a fantastic job getting a hat on a hat in the run game. When Caleb is under center and he hands that ball off, like this team is just different when they're running the ball and they're pounding the ball. Like I love what I'm seeing because the double teams up to the second level and then hitting it right downfield, like this is what you want to see. Their identity is running the football right now, and they're doing exceptionally well at doing that right now.
Yeah. So
it's amazing.
I think those were all 6 fantastic keys. I think we did a much better job this week of not
They're paying attention.
We're not fighting.
That's why they're winning.
About our keys. I think we did a great job there. What do you think, Lance?
I don't fight about keys. You guys want to make fun of my standards. I just have high standards. That's all.
I mean, 18 takeaways in a game is high, but it is a standard, I guess.
Yeah, if you can get them.
Did you happen to watch the post-game show on Sunday? I know you were coming back from Minnesota.
Watched a little bit of it.
You watched a little bit of it?
Caught a little bit of it.
Did you see Lance making fun of you at the end of the show?
Yeah, he was trying to make fun of me. I don't like that.
Did you see that?
What is he talking about?
What am I talking about? What am I talking about?
I was repping for you. You told me to use your hand, so I used your hand.
This guy.
Way to tee it up, brag.
I had to tee that up lightly because I know what you're gonna do with me, Briggs. You throw me under the bus.
No, you had to tee it up whitely, not lightly.
Oh man.
All right. Well, we're running way over, so let's quickly get into our award-winning segment with our good friends over at Circa Sports Illinois, and that, of course, is Da Bets. That's right. With Da Bets, we are always breaking down our picks for the NFL season, and now we're into week 12 of the NFL season, and we're getting our lines from Circa Sports Illinois. Once again, download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's get into it as we always started out with the line that Circa Sports has given us for the Bears-Steelers game. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites with the over-under set at 45. Jerry, where are you at on this?
Well, I like the Bears to win this game a little bit more than that spread, so they're gonna take care of that spread. And I like the over as well. I think the Bears are going to put it together this game. I think that they're going to come out, run the ball effectively, and then dice them up down the middle of the football field. I think that Cole Kmet and Love they're going to get a lot of it. I think that they're going to get a lot of targets down the middle of the football field, especially in the red zone, and get that money that folds. You know, so I do like the over on this game, and I do like the Bears to win outright.
All right, Briggs, where you at?
We don't know. Briggs is always
Briggs
mute.
is muted.
Briggs is always mute.
Briggs, you're muted.
Oh,
This
sorry.
guy.
I like to
This
fold
guy.
my dollars. I like to fold my dollars into rings and make rings out of them. All right, those are called paper champions. Okay, Bears, Bears, Bears. Anything Bears. That's what you should take this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man. A lot of
Say it with conviction.
A lot of confidence. A lot of confidence coming from
Say it with your
everybody.
chest.
There.
Mean mug 'em.
A lot of confidence coming from everybody but me. I guess I got to step up, man. Everybody's so confident.
You got to start to feel it, man. What is the deal? Like, you need to feel the power of the Bears right
Tug
now.
on those BVDs
And this is going to be a
buddy.
statement game.
Hug on them what?
Tug on those BVDs. BVDs. You know BVDs.
What's a
are underwear.
BVD?
Underwear. You don't know what BVDs are?
No.
Never
Never
mind.
heard of that in my
Never
life.
mind.
Gosh,
All right.
Lance is on some weird Arizona stuff.
Nobody's ever. Have you ever heard of BVDs? Have you?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
We don't know what he's talking about.
Is that Matt
These were
Forte's new
high-end
line of
underwear.
underwear?
He's drinking some CBD. He's definitely drinking CBD.
Some THC.
Somebody will tune in. They'll talk
Yeah,
about BVDs.
Yeah,
I'm sure
sure.
I'll get made fun of for that too.
Sure.
All right, let's look at the Week 12 NFL slate here real fast. You got Bills at Texans on Thursday Night Football coming up here in just a few moments.
Clean them up, Bills.
Vikings at Packers. Yeah, C.J. Stroud still out for that game. Vikings at Packers at noon on Sunday. See if J.J. McCarthy can bring 9 out. 9 was not out last week, but maybe he can appear this week and beat the Packers. That'd be cool. Giants at Lions at 12 p.m. as well. I think it's still going to be Jameis Winston. I don't know if they've officially announced that yet.
I think they're expecting Jackson start.
Oh, they're going to bring Jackson back. All right, well, that's good. That's good. Jackson can play some
they're
football.
not going to eat a dub. I know that.
Jameis let us down last week. He came close, though. Almost took down the Packers. You got Patriots at Bengals. That's going to be an interesting one for a few different reasons. Obviously, the Patriots are on a great run this year, 9-2 on the season. But Joe Burrow might return for that game. He was full go at practice yesterday. I haven't gotten a clear indication on whether or not he'll definitely start on Sunday, but he's getting closer and might just show up on Sunday.
No
you
Chase.
never know.
They're just going to get him hurt again.
Yeah, no Jamar Chase.
No Jamar Chase.
He wants to spit on people. Colts at Chiefs is going to be an interesting one.
Spitter.
Not a screamer, a spitter.
We got a spitter on our hands.
Not a great look, Chase.
Hawk to Spitter.
Oh, no. Bad look, Chase. You're in that one. Colts at Chiefs. That's going to be a great game. The Chiefs are on life support.
It's going to be a great game.
The Chiefs are on life support. Now they're taking on the Colts, who are having a dream season. Jonathan Taylor pushing for that MVP award. He's having an unbelievable year.
Yeah, he is.
You got Eagles at Cowboys. That's certainly going to be an interesting game for a few different reasons, as the Bears will take on the Cowboys on a short week next Friday. So that'll be interesting. And then Buccaneers at Rams on Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a big-time NFC North tilt. Yes. And then Panthers at 49ers, Monday Night Football. That's a win-win for the Bears when you look at the playoff picture. Two teams fighting for one of those final wild card spots. So somebody's going to take an L in that game. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's go through the lines here real fast. You got Texans as 6-point underdogs to the Bills at home.
Quick work for the Bills.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to take that one here.
Yeah, it's going to be Davis Mills starting for the Texans against.
Quick work.
Stroud still not cleared.
Well,
quick work for the Bills.
Yep. Let's keep rolling through it here. We got Cowboys at Eagles, and the Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. And I think the Eagles offense hasn't been great this year. I think I'm taking the Cowboys on that line there with the Eagles, 3.5-point favorites.
Mm-hmm. Be interesting. I like the additions that they made too. So
Eagles aren't really scoring many points.
I'm taking boys
here.
on that one.
Eagles aren't scoring many points. All right, let's keep rolling through.
They're at home too, right? Yep.
Yep.
They're finding ways to win.
Colts are 3-point underdogs on the road at Kansas City.
Taking the Colts.
Taking the Colts. How about you, Steven?
Taking those points.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Taking the Chiefs. Never doubt.
Confidently.
Yeah, you've been on that a few times, but I don't know.
I haven't got it wrong yet.
Very
boring. What about last week with the Broncos?
Very
Broncos, that was a big-time upset.
I don't know if we predicted that one.
Yeah, well, regardless, that was a surprising loss for the Chiefs.
Very boring.
They are not typically the team that loses that kind of game. So let's keep going through here. You got Vikings at Packers. The Packers are 6.5-point favorites. That's a pretty big number for Vikings-Packers. I mean, I know J.J. McCarthy's terrible, but it's a good defense in the Vikings.
This one's interesting to me because Josh Jacobs likely to miss that game. Emmanuel Wilson's going to likely get the start in that scenario. Mm-hmm. I kind of like the Vikings to cover there. I mean, this is the same Vikings team that just a couple of weeks ago beat the Lions.
That's right.
I know they looked like crap against the Bears, but still they were in that game
they
thanks to their
won it.
Defense. Yeah.
They're going to cover that spread.
Some interesting lines here. I think an opportunity for sharp bettors to make their money here on Circa Sports, Illinois. All right, what else we got here, Steven? We got the Patriots at I'm gonna have a seizure.
Tell us what you want to say.
No one's gonna know what just happened there. I was clicking
he was flashing
He's
two
faking us
different. He's like, geez, I almost had a seizure there. Patriots at Bengals. You got the Patriots as 7.5-point favorites on the road.
I don't know
with
about
maybe
that.
Joe Burrow returning again. Another line. If Joe Burrow,
Chase.
if you feel like Joe's going to come back, that might be a chance right there to make some money.
Taking the Pats.
Taking the Pats, huh?
All right. Yep. I'm just saying, there's
7.5.
There's some opportunity this week.
A lot of points.
It definitely helps the
By 10
Patriots.
points.
Christian Gonzalez would have had to have covered Jamar Chase in that game. He doesn't have to do that now. He's going to cover T. Higgins whenever they're in a man. I mean, that definitely helps the Patriots
good matchup.
quite a bit.
Yep. Because of the spitter. You got Giants at Lions. The Lions are 10-point favorites on the Giants. That's another really big number for the Lions at home.
Easy cover.
Easy cover for the Lions.
Easy cover.
Lions are coming off a loss against the Eagles where they had trouble scoring the football. Giants defense obviously is not as good as the Eagles, but we'll have to wait and see. Go Giants. Mm-hmm. All right, you got Panthers, 49ers on Monday Night Football. 49ers are 6.5-point favorites on the Panthers.
Seems like a lot. Seems like Panthers a little too much.
Circa getting froggy this week. That's what
November, man, it's weird. It's a weird time.
Okay.
It's Scorpio season. It's a great season.
Oh, God.
Isn't it Sagittarius season?
I don't even know. It's not Virgo season.
Not
Almost.
yet? Almost? All right.
It might. We're in the cusp day.
We're on the cusp. Are you big? Are you big with that stuff?
He's a zodiac guy.
Yeah.
He's a zodiac
big
guy.
with that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
1980.
He likes to read palms and stuff.
You read palms? You got the
Proud.
All right. Do we have any more lines there, Steven? We got one more here as we're finishing up the bets with Circa Sports Illinois.
Come on, Bucks.
Sunday Night Football, Bucks at Rams. Rams 6.5-point favorites on the Bucks. Bucks still dealing with a lot of injuries on the wide receiver front, right?
Yeah. Mike Evans obviously out for the season. Chris Godwin's still on the mend, so it looks like it's going to be two rookie receivers yet again this week leading the way for the Buccaneers.
I feel bad for Chris Godwin. He's been one of my favorite wide receivers for years, but he just never can stay healthy. Hurt. He's always in the firing line. So
I believe in Baker, though.
Oh, yeah.
Baker's a baller.
He was an early
He's going to try to make it close.
Early MVP candidate. It's
and everybody started
a little
getting
bit since then.
Everybody started getting hurt.
All right, well, there's all the lines with Circa Sports Illinois. Make sure you download your new bookie today at circasports.com. As we ran over here today on the Brick by Brick podcast with Ryan Mundy, some really good insight and stories.
Great guy.
Bringing it back to the old Trestman days when Briggs couldn't get that locker room in order.
Oh, joy.
I mean, you could have,
I'm glad that he shed some light on it because a lot of people were really they didn't really have a full understanding of what was going on and all the dysfunction that was going on during those times. So I'm glad he was able to speak on it.
Open door policy, fellas. The open door policy. I took full advantage of the open door policy. I can tell you that right now.
I'm sure you did.
He made sure that the locker rooms were open and anybody can go in and out. So I would drop deuces in the coaches' locker rooms. I would walk in with my towel. And they look, they're like, "Hey, what's going on?"
This is my locker room now.
Excuse me. Yep. Yeah, it was great. It was a great open door. It was one of the best things about the Trestman era.
The dysfunction
Briggs,
is on a whole nother level.
Heck?
Briggs going around just dropping dumps all over the place.
Oh no, it's it's open door policy. So I walk by, I would say, "Hey, what's up, Coach? Hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing, Coach? Hey, how you doing?"
So that's how Lance takes advantage with open door policy.
He took a dump in his office. They give up 250 burgers.
Well, he deserved it.
They gave up 250 burgers in the season, and Burger over here was dropping a deuce in the office afterwards.
This guy.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you to Ryan Mundy, as always, for jumping on. Definitely have to bring him back.
Absolutely.
He was a lot of fun to talk to. We'll see if he's correct in his prediction on the Bears over the Steelers. And make sure you guys stay tuned here coming up on Sunday for pre and post games shows here on CHGO Sports. Subscribe to the channel as we are inching towards 100,000 subscribers.
Let's get there.
Yeah.
Pre-game at 11 a.m., post-game immediately following the game. They'll have their players-only segment within the first post-game, and then the Brick by Brick after show for post-game show number 2. So hopefully we're talking about the Bears being an 8-win team as the Bears have 7 games to go, making a playoff push. This is going to be a lot of fun here to end the year. Arizona got the win yesterday.
Yes.
Listen. This ain't Purdue. This ain't UConn. All right. This is the top show. Brick by brick. Let's like Arizona. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let's
I texted.
Bear
I texted Brick.
Is that the claw?
What is that?
What is that a claw?
Wildcat, baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and then of course that makes a lot of sense. Wildcat, bear down. That never made sense to me.
That's for another show. We're running out of time here. That's for another show. But I will say this: Arizona has rights to bear down.
Yeah, we
right?
know.
So bear down.
Yeah, we know.
A for Azumah.
Purdue is up tonight as they take on Memphis and Penny Hardaway in the Bahamas.
Purdue.
Yeah, can you calm down over there? All right. Well, that wraps things up. That wraps things up here. Brick by Brick podcast. Hit the like button on your way, guys. Thank you to Stephen Nicholas, as always, for running the ones and twos behind the scenes, working hard.
Really good with that thumb.
At CHGO Sports. Thank you to Jerry Azumah and Lance Briggs. And as I always like to say, keep your head up and always bear down.
We all silly like the mayor.